Welcome to this week's episode of the Pull List Examiner. This is my weekly video where I take a look at the top 3 comics I'm looking forward to reading when it comes to New Comic Book Day. And New Comic Book Day this week is January 24th, 2024. There's not a whole lot of books coming out this week, at least on my list, but I was still able to put together a top 3, so let's take a look at them. Starting off the list at number 3 this week is going to be Detective Comics 1081. This is the continued saga that we're getting from Ram V. The story has been one epic tale. It made my top 10 list for last year, and it's continuing into this year. There's still a bunch of issues left, I believe, that Ram V is going to continue to write on. It looks like the artists are changing up on this issue, but that's no problem because I feel like really we've had different artists come and go on this, but it really hasn't affected it overall. It's been really all about Ram V's story that he's spinning for us. So if you are a Batman fan and you have yet to check out Ram V's run on Detective Comics, I would highly recommend going and finding it and starting to read through it. And at number 2 this week, we've got Star Wars Thrawn Alliances, issue number 1. This is a brand new series, and I can't tell you much about it yet because I have not even got a hold of the first issue yet, but also I can't tell if this is a repeat or recreation of the original Thrawn stories that were written in novel form years ago. But what I do know is that Timothy Zahn is credited as one of the writers on the series. I sure hope they were able to bring him in and he got to work on it. I don't know if they're just crediting him because maybe this is like I said, this is an adaptation of what he has already written. I'm not sure, but if you are a Star Wars fan, and especially if you're a Rebels fan or with the recent Ahsoka TV series on Disney Plus, you probably would like to read more about Thrawn. And I believe there's already been one Thrawn series that has come out earlier, a few years ago, and it sounds like this is kind of a part 2 that ties into the overall story. And as a Star Wars fan, I am looking forward to seeing what we get with this new series. And at number 1 this week, we've got The Penguin, issue number 6. This is a comic that I should probably have talked more about on my series, but I just think that when it gets stacked up against some other weeks, it ends up falling through the cracks. I don't get to talk about it. This is a great title. Tom King has really done a great job at revamping the story around the Penguin in this title so far. He's really drawing this pathway that will lead Oswald Cobblepot back to Gotham and showing how he really is the kingpin of Gotham. And if you have read any of the other Tom King series, I feel like he's drawing from some of that, but I don't know for sure if this is canon, like a direct tie-in to the current Gotham related series. I think it might be, but what I do know is that Tom King sometimes can be hit or miss, and there are times when he tends to add a lot of words. You get very verbose writing, but in this series I feel like everything he's done so far has been great. He's brought in some old characters. That's been interesting. He really is showing how the Penguin is as powerful as he is, and he's not holding back. And I think that as this title progresses, we'll continue to see a really good story showing how there was this previous fall of the Penguin, and this is his epic return. And if you are a Batman fan, this is probably something I would say, if you're avoiding some of those side titles, because there are so many different Bat titles, this is probably one I would recommend adding to your list to pick up, because I feel like it has been done so well. Thanks for watching this week's episode of the Pull List Examiner. All my comics I'm picking up from the local comic shop are listed in the description of the video below if you're interested in seeing what I'm going to be picking up this week. If you have any recommendations for me, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Click like, click subscribe, and remember to read them, bag them, and board them. We'll see you next time on the Pull List Examiner.